Hi and welcome to this Money IQ help video. This is all about your starting a business and what do you need to know? Well, the first thing you need to know is how the tax system works. Now I know this might be a little bit boring, but basically the tax system is just a set of rules. It does generally favour business owners rather than those people that are employed, because business owners can claim expenses against their tax that the employed cannot. And some of these business expenses were originally considered personal expenses. So these things generate or could generate losses in your new business, and this can be offset against other income. This earns you a tax rebate. For example, this is a list of expenses that you might generate in your first year in business. Now, of course, circumstances do vary. Yeah, take some professional advice or work it out. But there you've got 4,300 odd worth of expenses, and to a basic rate taxpayer that would be worth an £875 tax rebate, or a higher rate taxpayer £1,750. Now the rebate is allowed every year, there's no restriction on it, so this is actually quite a tax efficient mechanism, actually owning your own business. Now when you're starting a business there are things you must do, things you should do, and perhaps things you could do. Now, just taking the musts first thing you have to do is you have to register your business. And you have to do this by the October of the fiscal year following startup. Now, fiscal means the government tax year, which runs from April to March every year. Secondly, you've got to create annual accounts. So you've got to keep a record of what comes in and what goes out. And this allows you to complete your tax return. And you've got to register to submit your tax return online. Now you have to do that tax return by the 31st of the January of the year following startup. So if you start up, say, in let's say April 2016, so your first tax year is April 2016 through to March 2017. So you have to do your tax return by the 31st of January 2018. That's how it works. In annual accounts, you add up all the income and you deduct what's called allowable expenses. So things like motor, travel, property, marketing, and office. Things you should do, you should register for what's called the Class 2 National Insurance low earnings exemption, if appropriate. Now you can get details on that on the government website, hmrc.gov.uk. But if you're in work generally and you're paying Class 1 National Insurance contributions, when you're starting up a business, provided you're below a threshold, you don't really need to pay Class 2 National Insurance as well. Another thing I would advise you to do is set your accounts year end as the 31st of March. There are long and boring reasons why you should do that, but the main one is if you don't, you'll get involved in complicated tax calculations and you don't want to do that. Another thing you should do is actually dedicate a business bank account. So have either a business bank account or a bank account that you've dedicated to your business. This just makes it much easier to keep tabs on what's going on. Now, more advanced things that you could do, and these probably a little bit later, is either think about or consider setting up a limited company. I'd definitely take advice with the new rules coming around about 2016 level. They are new rules, which means that the advantages of running a limited company are less obvious. Another thing there is shoebox. Now, what does that mean? Is, well, just have a box somewhere where you can put your tax receipts, your receipts that you can ask for. When you're on business, make sure you do get paperwork. And then where do you keep it? Well, keep it in a box before it gets filed. At least that's the basics. There are tax strategies as one goes on in business, but really when you're starting out, there's not too much to think about. And again, with VAT, value added tax, I wouldn't worry about that for startup. Just get on, do the basics, and talk about that later. Now, if you do need any help or want some assistance, you can contact us at moneyiq.co.uk and just pop us an email or send us a question by text or give us a call, and by all means, we'll do our best to answer it.